Hey guys, once again we have another push mower. This one here is a Lawn Boy 20-incher. 6.5 foot-pounds gross torque Briggs and Stratton engine. This thing will not stay running. It goes plip, 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 and dies off like it's choking itself to death. But it reeks of bad gas and it has a really serious knock in the engine. This is rear-wheel drive and the belt on it is just toast. So the first thing we're going to do is pull the belt off of it because it's wrapped around the crankshaft. And I'm not sure that's not causing enough resistance to cause this a starting problem. So we're going to pull these 3 bolts to get the guard off underneath, and then we'll see what we got. Alrighty. So far all our bolts are the same. Whoop, lost one. There we go. Yep, and there's one in the back. All right, now we'll turn it back around and see what we got. Well, there's part of it. There's the rest of it. See what our next issue is. This belt guard is being a pain in the butt. I think we will remove those 2 bolts. I think those are also engine mount bolts. Pretty sure. Get my handle on that belt. Are you still looking the right way? Yeah, kinda. I'm gonna back you off here a little bit. There we go. You can see this thing's pretty torn up. It's been running in there for a while. Don't know if that was this mower's last straw or not, but it certainly wasn't good for it. Now I am going to put these back in here for now. Now this gas cap is just broke. There's part of it. Here's the rest of it. And it's smelling a little like gas in here. So I'm going to put this piece of plastic in here. And then I'm going to attempt to screw this down over to make it hold that in place. So we have a little less gas stench here in the garage or the workshop. I think that will make it much better. All right, let's pull the air filter housing off. See what we got. Well, better than the average one. I think we're going to pull this top cover off so we can get down to the chokey thing and see if it's just got this thing choked to death. So let's pop this cover off. See what's underneath there. I got a feeling this thing is another mower that died from just lack of maintenance. Not necessarily worn out, just nobody cared for it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's unchoke this thing and pull the rope a few times and see what we get. Find me a shop towel to stick in here. All right, I'm gonna pull the rope a few more times. Let's see what you're looking at. Yeah, that's pretty good. You're kind of looking in the right direction. I gotta put the spark plug wire back on. That'll help. All right. Well, you might say she has a little bit of a knock to it. Yeah, this thing is probably junk. Let's find out what happened to it. Got a feeling I already know, but we'll dig into it and see. I'm going to bet it ran out of oil. The oil right now is extremely low in it. There was some in it. I leaned it over to see if it could get on the dipstick, and it did, but you can see just how terrible this stuff is. Let's see if you'll focus on that. It's got some pretty junk oil in it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to find some engine damage in this sweetheart. But let's dig into it and see if it's salvageable or if it's just done. Sounds like a good time, doesn't it? Does to me. I'm going to reach across you. All right, let's get the fuel tank out of the way. Kind of a standard operating procedure when digging into these things. Oh, you gotta remember, there's a 10mm one underneath. Let's pull this air filter housing off. Then we'll be a bit closer. Of course that didn't work. Kind of works. We'll stick with the 8mm for now. Got a breather hose on the back of it. There it goes. Now we can get to our fuel line a little easier. That should stop it. Yep, that'll do. Look at that. We gotta take our dipstick loose and flip it over. For that, we're back to the metric world. I'll pull it up just a touch and turn it around. Oops, I pulled him up too far. Don't have to worry about any oil running out, that's for sure. Back to our 3/8. That one's out. That one's out. What are you looking at? Yeah, you're doing pretty good. Probably my arm most of the time. There we go. Starter's off. That's pretty nice still, maybe. Get the blade brake clutch out of the way. No, it's still pretty tight. I think the next thing we're gonna do is pull the flywheel off, then we'll pull the head off, because I'm sure we're going into the bottom end. That knock sounds pretty deep in it. So we will work all this off there. So I'll get set up, and I'll pull the flywheel off next. Now I have an 1/2-inch impact, but it's over at my son's house. He's working on his pickup, pulling a harmonic balancer off. So hopefully I don't break a fin off this flywheel. There we go. No fin broke. No fin broke. Sit this back down on there a little ways so it's about even. Grab a fairly good sized persuader here. Give her a couple love taps and she comes right off. Pull the nut off. And we'll pull the blade brake down, pull the flywheel off. Hey, look at there. Don't know what we were mowing because that looks like a corn stalk or a grapevine or something. Sure wished it surprised me, but it doesn't. Glove farts. Anyway, let's see here. Let's pull the carburetor off this thing. Pretty sure there's nothing wrong with it. I'll pull this around, unhook our spring here. That's our governor spring. Get that out of the way. We've got another, our choke return spring here. Take him completely off. Get it off, then we'll take this down and twist it to remove that governor linkage. If our silly choke thing wasn't in the way. Do you know how much trouble they went to design this so people don't have to use a choke? Simple thing as moving a choke has been taken over by this. And then also this, as it heats up, this moves over and keeps the choke off. This keeps the choke on until the engine starts, and then the air from the flywheel pushes it back and opens it up. That keeps it off once it's hot. That's a lot of work just so somebody doesn't have to move a choke lever. But that's where we are. That's where we are. Pull that little governor doohickey thingy off of there. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the head off this thing. Alrighty. There's the underside of our head. See exactly what you're looking at. And it doesn't look super bad. Let's take a look at the bore. I think it's going to tell us a little more of a story here. I'm going to take you off the stand. Flip out your screen so I can see what's going on here. And you can see, I think, the scoring in here on the cylinder wall. Can you see that? All right, let's pull the coil off just to get it out of the way. Then we'll pop it over on its side and pull the blade and stuff off, get the engine off so we can take the bottom of the pan off. I think that sounds like a reasonable plan. Now we already know this thing ran low on oil. We know that it probably stopped getting care whenever the belt come off the self-propel and people had to start pushing it around. Nobody likes pushing a lawnmower. Are you crazy? Ah, rat turds. Thought I'd get it for sure the first time. And this is probably what it is. Oh, look at that. First try. Or fifth. Pretty sure it wasn't going to get it there. It surprised us. Holy cow. I thought I'd be up for a fight getting this off. Where are you looking? Oh yeah, you're doing all right. I thought for sure. Well, I might have spoke too soon. Thought for sure that'd be a bit of an issue. It's got a place in there that's kind of hanging up. Let's give her a little dip of the old Zep 45. Pretty sure that should have a keyway or something in it. I think she needs a little hammer loving. Yeah, she's stuck. Oh, yeah, I think that used to have a key thing in it, and now it does not. It's got a spacer in it though. All right, well, pull the bolts out and drop the motor off. Okay. That'll get the engine off the deck. Now, I didn't unhook the cable on the other side. We'll have to do that yet. So I'm going to kind of set this back in place. And then set the motor back up. If I'm coordinated enough to do all this. Voila, like that. It's almost like it never happened. Take our hose pliers and we'll give a squeeze on the cable here and get it out of there. Work that arm back a little bit. There we go. That's undone. Of course, it's a modern mower. There's no throttle cable, no nothing. So that's that. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll get this mower out of the way and then we'll disassemble our engine and see what the rest of it looks like in there. Pretty sure that's not right. Oh, I got faith. Ooh, look at that. 3/8 again. I can tell you, a 10 millimeter is no 3/8. There's the sump bolts. Let's go ahead and pull the rest of this guard off real quick. Get that floppy dangly thing out of the way. Those are even smaller. Just gonna go ahead and pull the muffler off. It'll be interesting to see how long these average Briggs and Stratton mower here, this engine, would run with proper maintenance. And then compare that result to how long the actual life is in consumers' hands. Because I'm betting that it would be somewhere around 4 or 5, maybe 10 times longer with proper maintenance. There's not a one of these I've torn down yet that died of natural causes. It's all died because somebody did not take care of it in one way or another. That sounds pretty harsh, but it's also pretty true. What do you think? That one? Oh. This little hoo-hoo dilly is part of the choke. Let me get back on there. This is part of that choke, and as this heats up from the exhaust, it pushes over. There's just a spring in here that's wound up. As the spring gets hot, it expands, and that's what moves that over. And you are looking right about there. Can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that. That is a bunch of sludgy, oily, metally stuff. And that's what ran out of the engine. That's how much this thing had in it. I did not take any out. Like I said a while ago, I tried to drain it and it didn't drain. Now I did start it up, but that did not cause this damage. This thing was already in sad shape before we started doing all that nonsense. Now we'll take our rod bearings or rod bolts loose, drop the piston out of it, and the whole story will pretty much be told at that point. That got some tracks in it. That's for sure. I don't know how well we're focusing on it, but I'm not touching the camera because my gloves are all greasy. But, yep, she has some tracks in her. Let's slide the piston out. If we can get it to move again. It will. It just needs some persuasion. Now we're the part where it really needs to be persuaded. Pull our crankshaft out. Take a look at it. That oil's just nasty. That is definitely why this sweetheart died. It's unfortunate. It's not super bad. There's a little aluminum transfer right there, but it's not super bad. I think this one, it's going to all be in the... Well, that tells the whole story. Let me see if I can get you to focus on this. This is where metal has transferred from the cylinder to the piston. You can see it clear up here on top of the piston. That's why this one died, is it got ran out of oil and then it scored the piston. And it scored it pretty bad too. That is deep. But that is Why Did It Die, Volume 2. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. My intention is to repair these. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you tuning in to Ray Moore Repair and watching these videos. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you wish. Sure would like it. And we'll keep going. We're going to do probably a few more mowers. Then we got some other projects lined up. We have a couple of Hondas we're going to work on, a CRF 230, a Trail 70 eventually when I finally get all the parts for it, and a few other odds and ends. And my brother said he had a ton of little projects too that we could harvest and work on as well. So thanks a lot for tuning in. God bless. Take care.